Good morning, everyone, and thank all of you for putting this event on. I find this to be so important. And before I get into how I feel I can make a difference in Lake Charles City Court and what I would want to change and implement, I want to tell all of you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I feel Lake Charles is growing every single day, and it's such a special place to me. This place is where everyone can have different ideals, different beliefs, different opinions, but yet when it's time to all come together for each other, we do. I know that Lake Charles is just a variety of people, and this is my hometown, and I love it. Now getting into my education. I graduated from Barb High School in 2003. This is where a time that I really started cementing where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do with my life and what path I wanted to take. I went to Louisiana State University in 2003 and through 2007. I majored in mass communications, public relations with a minor in business administration. I was a member of the Kappa Delta sorority, and I worked all through college. I worked my way as a waitress through college. Hard work is something me, and I did that through college. I knew that I wanted to go to law school. I knew that from when I was in middle school. And I applied for both Louisiana State University Law Center to follow family tradition, but I also applied at Southern University Law Center because I knew prominent attorneys in Lake Charles that had gone to Southern, and I knew I wanted to stay in Baton Rouge. I was put on the wait list for Louisiana State University and was accepted into Southern University Law Center. I attended from 2000, I started in 2007 at Southern University. I was nervous, scared. It was a different atmosphere, obviously, but I was starting all over on a new campus. But when I walked in, Southern welcomed me with open arms, and I found my law family, is what I call them. I am a Southern Jaguar. At Southern University, I met my husband, I met my friends, and the atmosphere at Southern University wasn't every man for themselves. It was the atmosphere that we all pushed each other towards our goal of becoming lawyers. I am proud to say I'm able to work with my fellow classmates here in Lake Charles and in Calcasieu Parish. I love Southern University, and that is a big part of who I am and how I practice law. Now, my family. I was raised in a family that determination, hard work, and public service was important. I had a mother who worked more than one job sometimes, as my father worked in public service for over 17 years at the district attorney's office as an assistant district attorney, most of that time being in the juvenile division. I saw the passion, but I also saw him fight for justice for victims, but also the compassion to reach out to those that are on the wrong path and lead them down the way that they need to go. I feel like both of those are very important aspects in law, criminal law, and as a judge, you have to have all of those aspects to go forward. Public service continues in my family today as my father is a judge at the 14th Judicial District Court. And I see that he gives the passion and he has a commitment to the citizens of Lake Charles, and I see that. And I want to continue that. He is inspiration to me as a lawyer and as a citizen of Lake Charles. Now, I am married to Jake Buford. He is an associate attorney at Baggett McCall Law Firm, and I feel that he has been an inspiration as well. Not only did we meet at law school, but I feel that he has a determination and a fight that he puts in every case. And I know that you have to be both firm and tough, but compassionate and humble. And those are things that inspire me every day with the work that I do. We have a daughter that will be 3 in a couple of months, Lainey. And if it wasn't already, I had so much inspiration before. Having a daughter and having a child has changed my view on the world tremendously. But she is my motivation every day to make Lake Charles better, to make Lake Charles a place that she wants to come home. I knew I wanted to make a family and raise a family here in Lake Charles. I want her to have that same inspiration and make a difference. And that's what I want to do today. Now, I started as a prosecutor at the DA's office in 2010, immediately out of law school after taking the bar. I have worked through the DA's office for 10 years, up from the bottom to the top. And what that includes is I worked in the appeals division before I was licensed to practice law. I went through tickets, traffic tickets, misdemeanors, city courts, Lake Charles, Sulphur City Court. I went through domestic violence division, felony, misdemeanors. I then went into my own felony division. I also worked for a year in the division of severe adult sex crimes. So I have been involved in an array of cases, hundreds of cases that have come through the DA's office. That includes thefts, burglaries, robberies, rapes, kidnappings, murders. You name it, I have been involved in it. And no, you don't treat the cases the same from a traffic ticket to a murder case, but they all have the same fundamentals. You have to make sure the law is followed, and you have to make sure that justice is served. But at the same time, you have to be able to help those that are on the wrong path and lead them in a way. Give them help. Don't just throw them away. With the DA's office, I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of groups in the legal community. That includes law enforcement. That includes defense attorneys, very much so the public defenders, and also with judges. I've gone in front of all the judges that are now on 14th JDC. With all of those groups, you have to maintain respect, trust, and that relationship is so important when you work with those groups when it comes to the legal community. And I feel that I have that relationship with all 3. Now, not all the time are they happy with decisions I make, but when you go to them and ask them about who I am as an attorney, they will tell you, I am fair, no matter what. Even if they're not happy with what I did, they know I am fair. They know I am trustworthy, and they know I am straightforward. Now, if I'm elected as your next Lake Charles City Court judge, I have grand ideas. And I know that everyone that's running for a judgeship tells you, as a judge, you have to follow the law. And that is what I would do. I'd follow the law, but you have to have that compassion, the passion for what you do, but also the ability to do what is right when it is necessary and step forward when it is necessary. I want to apply to City Court Judge some community outreach programs. I know everyone speaks of the children. We have to start from the bottom. We've got to start at the beginning. And we need to show them mentorship, and we need to show them that hard work, education, all of those things will lead you to whatever goals you have. You just have to keep going. And you have to believe in yourself too. And so as a judge, I know Lake Charles City Court is considered a part-time position, but as a judge, I am telling you at this point, I am not planning on having a private practice on the side, although you can. I do not have any businesses. My full focus will be Lake Charles City Court. That is what I feel like you're owed. And as an elected official, you are owed my full dedication and time. So that is what I'm putting forward. As far as community outreach programs, going out, speaking to the youth at schools, but also those people that are having to come to court, educating them about the court system. A lot of times people walk into court not knowing what they're going to, not knowing what rights they have. So edifying them on the procedures, the legal rights they have, but also their constitutional rights, and making sure that those constitutional rights and not trampled on. That is what is important. You have to protect both the defendants criminally, but you also civilly have to protect the plaintiffs and the defense. Make sure that they are able to have a voice be heard. Their cases are the most important cases. When they're in front of you, those are the most important cases. So give them the time. As a judge, timeliness, efficiency, those are all so important. And to be able to give those people that are in front of you an opportunity to state their case. Volunteerism. Obviously, as a judge, you are restricted on what you can and can't do as far as volunteering or being on boards or donations. You are restricted. But what I can tell you is as a community, there's other ways that you can do that, and you can push forward your community and your citizens. And that's what I plan on doing. I want to implement some specialty courts and misdemeanors. In 14th Judicial District Court, they have drug court, DWI court, they have behavioral health court, they have veterans court. Why are we waiting until they get a felony to really help them? Why? Why not work in conjunction with the 14th Judicial Court, with the DA's office? We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but work with them. DWIs, that first one you get, that is severe. But you know what? That may have been a mistake. And you have the consequences for your mistake. But when you get a second DWI, there's a problem. Why not reach out at that point? Why not don't let them just be another tally in the book of being on probation, but rather really show them and give them an opportunity to treat themselves. Again, go to all the classes that are implemented at the district attorney's office and with the 14th JDC. Work with them. I want to put that in the city court system. Also, a lot of times when you are and there are plenty of reasons to miss court as far as the reasonings why. Work, family, illness. There are reasons there. Court dates are important and you have to attend, but when you don't, you get a bench warrant. And one thing that we don't want is we don't want people sitting in jail for missing a court date. Our jails are already full enough. We don't need those people that missed a court date to sit in jail. One matter that has been implemented in 14 JDC under Judge Davis in that division is a fast track as far as getting a new court date when you get a bench warrant. If you are arrested on a bench warrant, you go through and you pay your bond, and you're immediately given a new court date right then and there. You don't have to wait to go in front of a judge. You don't have to wait a weekend or days or nights. Now, city court is doing well. They keep track as much as possible as they can to see who goes into the jail and tries to get them out as quick as possible. But let's implement something that gives them a court date right then and there and tells them, let's work together. Let's work this out. I don't want you sitting in jail because time is money, and you need to go and work and protect your family. Those are big parts of what I want to add to city court. City court is going to be busy with the limitation on civil cases as 50,000, and there are lots of cases coming through city court. It is a limited jurisdiction court, but still it has so many cases. And what you want is you want a judge that is going to be efficient. Right now, through this pandemic, Zoom has been implemented. And I think that that's so important. Why put a case off when you can get it done? If somebody can't come into town, why not do Zoom? If somebody can't take off of work, why can't we do Zoom? Implement that technology to make sure that we can keep cases moving forward. City court is great right now. Let's make it even greater. And let's work with the citizens. I feel that as your next city court judge, I have the passion It's not just a job. It's a passion that I have, a passion that I decided on in middle school, a passion that I went to law school and then I went straight to the DA's office. I knew that's where I wanted to go because I wanted to work for the public. And I want to continue that. My next step is as your next city court judge. And I just want to bring, I want to bring all of that passion, that justice to that bench and be able to work with everyone that's in the legal community. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, not really knowing. Like you had mentioned, as far as not showing up in court and that they get a bench warrant and they get arrested. So, is there, to me, that seems like it's more of a fine, like a money hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any way that that can be basically taken care of before that situation even happens versus them calling in and saying that, hey, I can't make it, so on and so forth, you know, because I just don't see how if a child gets sick, it's a single parent and they have no way and now they get a bench warrant. So now I got to pay you to get out, even though you give me a new date and it's done, but I just still had to pay you.
No,
So,
that's completely understandable. And that's the thing, no judge wants to put people in jail, especially for something as missing court. If you have somebody that walks in and tells you, look, I've missed court, I need a new court date, we can do that right then and there. There's no arrest going to happen. But even if you call the day it happens, obviously nobody plans for your child to get sick or for a traffic accident or something, that could prevent you from coming. So if there is a call in, absolutely, the court works with you. As long as you're working with the court and you notify us and let us know, then that is something that is, that respect is given back and forth. You have the respect to call us to say, look, I'm not going to be able to make it. We have the respect to say, no problem. Here's your new court date. So absolutely, it doesn't have to take somebody getting arrested to get a new court date. We don't want that. We want you to take care of it beforehand. And so we don't even have to deal with the arrest. Usually when it comes to the arrest of if somebody does have a bench warrant and they are arrested, most of the time the jail only calls the judge to let them know if the jail is too full and they can't take them. I don't want to wait for for the jail to be too full or for them to call a judge to ask. I want it to be done right then and there. So that's my plan, is to implement something with the jail, implement something with city court, with the judges, and come up with a plan better than just putting them in jail.
The question that I have is about the courtroom experience. I started practicing law in North Louisiana, and my first case was in front of your dad. Mm-hmm. And when I first saw him, he said, hey, come on up here, cowboy. Hey, come have a cup of coffee with me. And I thought it was phenomenal to have a judge to act as though it was okay, a white judge in the South, I was from Chicago, to act as though it was okay to come and see him, to offer me coffee, to offer that my case be heard quickly so I can leave and go back to where I had to go to. But also he was very pleasant to my client. And one of the things I see about judges sometimes is we get into a rhythm in the courtroom and judges start to treat people sometimes like they're less than people. Mm-hmm. They start feeling like a number. They start feeling like rushed along. What would a courtroom experience be like for litigants, for attorneys, and especially those who have fines and court costs? And there was a time at city court where you used to get thrust into a back room and they give you a phone until you call everybody you know. And if you can't call anybody, you go into jail if you can't get enough money to pay the fine today. Tell us what the experience will be if you're a judge at the city court level.
So in city court, obviously, it is a formal arena in a courtroom. But as I stated before, it's that passion. And it's the fact that when somebody's in front of you, you give them their time. You give them an opportunity to present their case, whether they're represented or not. Like I said, I do have that relationship with defense attorneys around town, but they're doing their job and their clients are just as important as a defense attorney. But also, again, another thing is time is money. And I know that you you as lawyers and defendants need to get back out there. So going through cases and efficiency, timeliness, fairness, that's all things that would be in my courtroom, and welcoming. But I don't want to rush them through to where somebody may be overlooked, like you stated, as far as their rights are concerned. I still will make sure that every right is protected, their constitutional rights are protected, and that they understand what they are doing. I don't want somebody just to plead guilty just so they can get out of court. That's not what we want to do. We want them to understand the impact of those guilty pleas, the impact of their future. Also, I want to make sure that they understand the procedural component of the court system. As much as we want to be efficient, we have to be fair and we have to be right. And we have to do right by the citizens of Lake Charles. We're only as good as those that are at the bottom. We need to pull everybody up, and everybody is just as important as the other. And that's what I feel I'll bring to that bench, that openness for you to come forward, talk to me, ask me questions, please. I would rather you do that than to just go through the motions. And also, I have that ability to allow, I want defense attorneys to come and talk to me in my chambers. I want them to come and talk with me with the state. Let's figure out something together. It's not one versus the other. Let's make it a team effort here. Let's put our minds together to create something so much better and so much more special. You want somebody to walk in Lake Charles and be able to say that Lake Charles is my hometown and I'm proud of it. And that's what I want every citizen that comes in my courtroom to feel like. They may have tripped up, and that's okay. That's not the end of the world, and that's what I want them to understand. But let's not just make it a fine in a court case and just another tally mark. Let's try to really get under the skin as to why. Why are you doing this? Mental health issues, drug issues, alcohol issues, all of that. Let's really delve into it. I know it's a misdemeanor court, but it's still just as important. Let's stop them from the beginning.
I have a question for you. The last 3 years they have had at the city court prosecutor's probation. Originally, it was started by former city prosecutor Lydia Lee Guillory, and it's been carried on by Attorney Holmes. They have been successful in diverting at least over 250 clients through city court, which has actually lightened their docket a whole lot. By sending them out to resources to make sure that they get everything that they need prior to court. Right. And then upon successful completion, they will be done within the court system. Is that something that you will be open and amenable to continuing?
Absolutely. I was a part of that through the DA's office. I am a part of that through the DA's office. Even in felony cases, I've been through it. I worked with drug and DW court, and I worked with the Veterans Court system at the 14th JDC. So any ways that we can, having a record it makes it difficult to get a job. It does. And so any way that we can help them, there's still consequences for your actions, but let's not just punish somebody and automatically just start them from the bottom with a mistake. So absolutely, pretrial diversion is something that I am open to now at the DA's office and would like to continue in city court.
Ms. Buford, I have a question for you, and I'm going to take you a little bit away from the legal aspect. If elected city court judge, one of the duties you will have, along with Judge Bice and the newly elected marshal, will be pandemic response. Mm-hmm. You will set the game plan for the court on how court will be ran, of course, with the Supreme Court guiding you. Can you tell me what is the plan? Because I find that we still are kind of antiquated. It's a beautiful courthouse, got a lot of nice technology, but the way we do things are still antiquated. You, along with Judge Bice, what would you tell the people would be your idea or plan on how you can bring citizens into court or bring access to justice in a time where we're wearing masks, we have to socially distance, we have to do all these things, and we have large dockets?
I think the most important thing is communication. I think that's the biggest thing, communicating with those outside of the courtroom, and teamwork as far as being with Judge Bice and being with the newly elected marshal. But it's about coming together. But as we brought up, Zoom court, that is so important. But opening that communication for people to be able to call into court and say, look, this is what's going on. I'm not comfortable with going. There's a lot of people that are not comfortable with getting out right now, and that is understandable. I do know that as of right now, bench warrants are, they're very light on issuing bench warrants right now because of this pandemic. We're not trying to arrest anybody for failing to appear in court, but it's more about opening up those possibilities for those people, but also letting them know. A lot of people don't even know about Zoom court and don't know, as far as the defendant is concerned, unless you are with a defense attorney, you don't know about getting on Zoom court. So it's all about getting that information out there and getting it out there to the community and to the citizens for court.
My question, Ms. Buford, touches on sentencing. Previously, retired Judge Quirk had a plan that provided alternative sentencing for individuals to do something other than have to pay fine and court costs. What is your position on alternative sentencing?
I think alternative sentencing is appropriate in certain situations. We are not going to put anybody in jail for not being able to pay. That's not what our job is. That's not what we need to do. What we need to do is, you know, there are consequences for your actions. So community service, to me, there are so many community services in Lake Charles, in Calcasieu Parish, that instead of fines and court costs, that's the way we can do this. We don't want to put you in jail. And we are not going to put you in jail for not paying. We are not a collection jail, a collection court. We are a court that implement the law, and that's what we have to follow. But also, I am very open to the alternative sentencing in ways where, you know, community service to me is the biggest, because I feel like you can give back to your community instead of if you're not able to pay. Okay. Thank you all very much.